hospital in Mumbai of dead bodies lying next to patients. It sent shockwaves and generated much outrage across the country. So what we did was we asked our reporters in Mumbai, Pankaj Upadhyay and Tanushri Pandey, to work with hospital authorities and to go speak to the doctors to show you the conditions in which these doctors are operating, because for hours there have been 41 deaths in Mumbai alone. On the news track tonight, for the first time, we will take you inside the hottest zones when it comes to the fight against COVID-19 in India. This is an India Today exclusive.
Coronavirus patients lying next to corpses in body bags. These spine-chilling images from the Sion Hospital in Mumbai shocked the entire nation. India Today decided to visit this hospital, one of the oldest and most hard-pressed hospitals in Mumbai in the face of the pandemic.
So this small area, the small room in Sion Hospital has been turned into a donning area where the doctors and the health staff, they wear the PPEs. And I am right now geared up in one of the PPEs with the help of Dr. Yojana Gokhale. And I really can't tell you how difficult it feels to even breathe inside this PPE.
The doctors give India Today access to the ICU, where all the beds are occupied. Not surprising, given that Mumbai is the epicenter of the COVID fight.
So we are right now inside an ICU, a designated COVID-19 ICU inside Sion Hospital in Mumbai. And these are the patients who are right now being treated. And we'll tell you that these all are patients with, the deadliest strain of the virus. Dr. Nitin, what kind of a situation do you have to deal with on an everyday?
See, these are the patients who are not maintaining their oxygen saturation on bag and mask. So they need special equipment to achieve a high oxygen delivery.
We are right now inside a non-COVID ICU in Sion Hospital, and this is how it looks like. The warriors, they are working in around the clock, day in, day out, just to make sure that at least those patients who do not have this deadly infection at this point of time, they do not contract the infection.
We've had elderly people coming with strokes, diabetic ketoacidosis. So we have to have a designated ICU separate from the COVID ICU.
Absolutely.
So it's like managing both things and trying to maintain a very fine balance between the two.
This ward in the hospital's second floor is special. Here, nearly 150 mothers lie with their newborn babies. These women are COVID positive, and the babies, fortunately, are not.
I think the most beautiful sight behind me inside a hospital where more than 150 mothers, more than 150 women who were COVID positive had successfully delivered their babies inside Sion Hospital with the help of our great doctors and the healthcare staff. And the most beautiful thing is not even a single child has contracted the infection from the mothers.
The WHO has recommended that these babies should be kept with the mothers and they should be allowed to breastfeed. The reason why we allow the breastfeeding is because if we don't keep babies with mothers, then the problems will be many more. And that is why WHO has recommended that the baby should be breastfed.
Every ward in the hospital is filled to the brim, and so is the mortuary.
After the person has died, there is a very minimal risk that anybody would contract the infection of COVID-19 from the dead body. And they just told us that yes, country is definitely going through a cultural shock where many people are not claiming the bodies, but they are going through an entire process where the police comes, look for the relatives, and then the body has been handed over. So this is inside a mortuary in Sion Hospital, one of the most hard-pressed hospitals where the mortality rate is also quite high.
Overworked healthcare staff, overburdened wards, and just not enough resources. Sion Hospital is struggling to cope with the crisis at hand.
We are still running out of beds, and especially the we are running out of the beds for critically ill patients, the ICU beds. As we've gone on increasing the beds, suppose I make one ward available of 40 beds, it gets full in 4 to 6 hours. So again I have a load of 20, 30, 40 patients waiting in the casualty till again some patients can be discharged.
The story of Sion Hospital's COVID fight is perhaps the same as every other government hospital in Mumbai. Maximum patients and minimum resources. With Tanushree Pandey, Bureau Report for India Today.
This was Tanushree's report on the Sion Hospital. I'll also take you inside the KEM Hospital. But before that, let's look at what Mumbai is dealing with, because Maximum City is dealing with maximum infections in India. The total number of positive cases when we last checked was 27,251 confirmed COVID-19 cases. The cases in the last 24 hours is 1,751. The total deaths recorded so far in Mumbai alone are 909. And in the past 24 hours, there have been 27 deaths. Remember, as I said, we did a very quick calculation. These numbers are more than that of 158 countries of the world. That's how serious the problem in Mumbai is, which is why we put it front and center here on the news track. I want to show you now a second report filed by my colleague Pankaj Upadhyay, this time from inside KEM Hospital, where doctors under very difficult circumstances are going out of their way to try and save as many patients as they possibly can. Here is the first ground report you've ever seen from inside the KEM Hospital.
A body lies packed in a bag outside Mumbai's KEM Hospital, waiting for an ambulance. Inside, COVID-infected bodies are piling up, lined up in the hospital corridors. As government hospitals crumble under the load of coronavirus infections and patients line up, India Today decided to go inside the KEM Hospital for a status check.
Mumbai is fighting a big battle against COVID-19. And in this fight, in the front line is this hospital, the KEM Hospital. This is one of the few hospitals in Mumbai which is treating both COVID and non-COVID patients. Needless to say, there is immense pressure on the doctors and the nurses. And today, we will find out as to exactly how are the doctors and the nurses working inside.
A BMC-run hospital, most people who come to KEM are from the nearby slums. And since another BMC-run Nair Hospital has been turned into a COVID facility, the crowd here has gone up 3 times. Our first stop is the COVID ward, where a team of doctors is getting ready.
डॉक्टर्स, स्टाफ नर्सेज और क्लास 4 एम्प्लॉइज़ सब मिला के कोविड के लिए कम से कम अभी मेरे हिसाब से कम 1000 से 1100 लोग तो इस ड्यूटी में लगे हुए हैं, जो भी कोविड एरियाज़ में बात कर रहा हूँ. वी आर कीपिंग एवरीवन फॉर 6 आवर्स. और अभी हमारी नए पॉलिसी के अनुसार हम लोग उनको 5 दिन का काम देके 2 दिन ऑफ दे रहे हैं उसके बाद में.
नहीं है. हॉस्पिटल के अंदर हमें जानकारी दी गई कि जो हमने ये प्रोटेक्टिव गियर पहना हुआ है ये काफ़ी नहीं है, तो हमें यहाँ पर N95 मास्क दिया गया है, ये गॉगल्स भी दिए गए हैं. अभी इसके ऊपर हमें बताया गया है कि हमें ये फेस शील्ड भी पहननी है. इस वक्त ही मेरा दम घुट रहा है इसके अंदर. जी हाँ, दम घुट रहा है. और ये सोच पाना भी मुश्किल है कि 6 घंटे लगातार डॉक्टर्स वार्ड के अंदर कैसे अपनी सेवाएं देते होंगे. डॉक्टर कृति, किस तरीके से 6 घंटे तक आप रह सकते हैं? 5 मिनट में मैं तो हालत खराब हो गई मेरी.
बिकॉज इट इज़ आवर ड्यूटी, है ना. हमें 6 घंटे का दैट इज़ द लीस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ शिफ्ट जो हम कर सकते हैं. प्री हाइड्रेटिंग, देयर वाज नो टाइम फॉर ट्रेनिंग. वी वेयर कोरोना हिट इज एट सच अ so suddenly and so massively that we read up the guidelines. We were of course taught कि this is the procedure, ये करना है.
देखोगे तो यहाँ पे हमने जो लगाया है कि हर एक रूम में कि कोई भी अगर आता है तो ये सीक्वेंस है, इसी सीक्वेंस में आपको ये सब पहनना पड़ता है।
अच्छा।
ऐसा नहीं कि आपने कुछ भी पहले पहन लिया बाद में पहन लिया, तो ये पहले क्या क्या करना है वो सब तक।
I always had a sense of appreciation for all the medical fraternity, लेकिन आज के बाद जब ग्राउंड जीरो पर अंदर खुद वार्ड के बाहर आके मैं आप लोगों को देख रहा हूँ, आई एम ओवरवेल्म्ड। आप लोग जो काम कर रहे हैं, इट्स हैट्स ऑफ टू यू पीपल। आपकी बदौलत ही we are surviving to a great degree, so thank you so much, thank you so much. We wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much.
With our protective gear in place, we accompany the team of doctors inside the ICU, where 10 patients were undergoing treatment.
इलाज अच्छे से हो रहा है आपके इधर? अच्छा, कोई तकलीफें आ रही इधर?
We have to switch off the AC because the AC that when you have COVID, you require a negative pressure.
Achha.
Okay, which is not there. So that's why we have switched off the AC and we have opened the windows.
अब देखिए यहाँ पर तमाम दवाइयाँ रख दी गई हैं। 84 कोविड पॉजिटिव पेशेंट्स आर इन द ICU in the KEM हॉस्पिटल राइट नाउ। डॉक्टर कीर्ति, ये बताइए, जब आप मरीजों के पास जा रही हैं, उनका इलाज कर रही हैं, सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या आता है आपके सामने?
How much we can try to minimize contact without compromising the care of the patient.
Once out, there's a similar elaborate procedure to take the protective equipment off.
I was inside the COVID ward for nearly 12 to 15 minutes and I'm completely exhausted. But when you visit ground zero, you realize why the doctors are placed second only to God.
The hospital corridors are teeming with relatives of patients.
वायरस फैला हुआ है, यहाँ पर आते हैं तो आपकी जान को खतरा हो सकता है, फिर भी आप यहाँ पर आए हुए हैं।
तो क्या करेंगे अभी? कोई तो भी मांगता है ना मरीज को देखने के लिए।
नहीं, उनको तो डायबिटीज़ के लिए अगर क्रिएटिनिन का अगर किसी को रिनल फेलियर तो अलग से डाइट मंगाया जाता है।
वार्ड में क्या यहाँ से जब से लेके आए तो उनका क्लीनअप वगैरह कोई टाइम टू टाइम इधर कोई मौसी वगैरह कोई क्लीनअप करने के लिए।
The patient load is constantly increasing. A new COVID facility is coming up and it looks like it will certainly be better than the existing one. There are 1,800 beds at KEM Hospital as on 21st May. 404 beds are dedicated for COVID cases. All of them are occupied. The hospital needs 30 more beds to hospitalize coronavirus patients who are waiting for treatment. KEM intends to create capacity for 480 beds by the end of May.
अभी इस दरमियान अगर हम KEM अस्पताल किसी पेशेंट को ना करते हैं तो वो पेशेंट कहीं जा नहीं सकता, क्योंकि काफ़ी अपेक्षा के साथ यहाँ आता है वो, और उनको भर्ती कर देना या उनको एडमिट करना हमारी जिम्मेदारी।
There's no doubt that there's a lot that needs to be done at these municipal-run hospitals. But there's no denying the fact, at the time of crisis, it's these hospitals that have been saviors for many. With Pankaj Upadhyay in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
So far, the load has entirely been on the municipal, the civic hospitals, because most of the private hospitals haven't been taking in COVID-19 patients, and the conditions are very, very difficult. Our reporter said he was drenched in sweat in just about 15 minutes. And remember, those doctors are wearing that very heavy PPE kit, the protective personal kit, for more than 6 hours. That's how long they stay without air conditioners, with open windows, in the humidity of Mumbai. You know, I can just salute the effort that they're making and try and make their life slightly easier. And to do this, I've invited Amit Deshmukh. He's the Minister for Medical Education in the government of Maharashtra. We'll try and see what the government is doing to make their lives easier. We've also got Dr. Mohan Joshi. He has been the Dean of the Sion Hospital, is currently at the Naya Hospital, but understands Sion Hospital really well. Dr. Sujit Chatterjee is the Chief Executive Officer of the Hiranandani Hospital, and I understand what the private hospitals are doing and how they can chip in. But Dr. Joshi, you've got a minister, crucial minister in the government in Maharashtra live listening in. I picked up there that there's no one to clean up, more beds are required. Can you explain what are the problems that you believe hospitals like Sion and Nayar are facing at this time? How can citizens who are watching you at this time, how can the minister who's live on our broadcast try and help, sir?
Good evening, Rahul. I think I was watching your show and your reporter. I think he did a very good job of showing everybody what the hospitals are really doing. Like you said, that the KEM hospital is completely occupied with COVID positive patients, and now they can't accept any more patients out there. But in Mumbai, you know that we are creating almost 10,000 beds for COVID-19 patients, in these large number at stadiums, indoor stadiums, exhibition grounds. We have isolation beds there, we have ICU beds there, we have oxygen, we have ventilators. So I must assure, the people of Mumbai that Government of Maharashtra, the Municipal Corporation of Mumbai is working overtime to take care of all of them. We also are now, engaging the private hospitals where hospital beds in private hospitals now will be dedicated for COVID-19 patients. As you know, that government now has also capped the fee that the private hospitals can charge for the COVID patients who have, by choice, want to get admitted in a private hospital. So we are also, working on that, and we are making sure that the COVID-19 positive patients get the required treatment at the best possible costs in private hospitals and almost free in the government hospitals and the corporation hospitals.
Dr. Sujit Chatterjee, it's a bit of a letdown in several senses, not entirely the fault of private hospitals, that the burden so far has largely been on the government hospitals. Now that private hospitals in Mumbai have been asked to jump into the act, how do you see that play out? What kind of preparations have you made? What does this mean for non-COVID patients who might need treatment at your hospital or elsewhere, sir?
Well, hello. That private hospitals have absolutely joined this battle with much enthusiasm to ensure that we win our city back from this COVID, this pandemic.
Put television on behind you. Can you just turn that off, Dr. Chatterjee? You may have a TV with its audio on somewhere next to you. Just turn that off so I can hear you and our viewers can hear you as well. Just turn it on mute.
Is that okay now?
No, is the television. If you just turn the television off that's playing at the back, we'll hear you well. And the speaker, you've got a speaker on, just turn that speaker off. Okay.
Can you hear me now? Am I clear?
Okay, let me ask a question in the meanwhile to Dr. Mohan Joshi, and we'll try and fix this. Dr. Joshi, the minister making tall claims about how the government is going out of its way to try and ensure that capacities are ramped up for civic hospitals. Do you feel this has happened? What more would you like to see Minister Deshmukh and others in the government provide you?
No, that is absolutely correct, and I am in tandem with Mr. Deshmukh, because the government and the municipal corporation with their joint venture are creating jumbo healthcare facilities. The major jumbo healthcare facilities are created in Mumbai, in Goregaon, Nesco, in Racecourse. Also, a dome has been created in National Sports Club in Warali, and similar jumbo facility is being created in National Racecourse. I mean the Mumbai Racecourse. So these facilities and BKC ground, the jumbo facilities are in 500 and 1,000 beds. So they will really ramp up to good number of beds now, and the beds which are going to be isolation beds as well as ICU beds are being planned there, because the buildings and the government hospitals and the private hospitals have some limit to which the beds can be put. Even there is a plan that in some hospitals like JJ, or where there is a place, they are creating another facility which is outdoor facility for the critically ill patient. There is also a plan which the sir will tell you, that there is also a plan wherein we are creating ICU on wheels or ICU which are outdoor. So that is going to definitely help the patients, because we are, heading for a massive number of patients needing admission, and this will definitely help the patients of Mumbai city.
Okay, let's see if we can get a word in from Amit Deshmukh. Why is it that your government believes that the number of cases in Maharashtra are spiraling in the way that they are, especially in Mumbai? Your opposition, and we're seeing constant attacks from former Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who accuses your government of negligence, saying because this is a coalition government, you're not being able to get your act in order, which is why cases in Maharashtra, unlike other cities, are spiraling in the way that they are.
No, I think it is unfortunate that, the Maharashtra opposition leader and former Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is getting into these allegations in the time of pandemic. I think I must make it very clear that Maharashtra was one of the first states which got into action against the COVID-19 pandemic. As you know that the testing in Maharashtra has been the highest in the country. The number of hospitals that are catering for the COVID-19 patients in Maharashtra are highest in the country and in any metropolis. I mean, you compare Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai. I think the capacities that government of Maharashtra has created in the city of Mumbai, in any comparison, I think it is much higher in terms of hospital beds, in terms of COVID centers, in terms of flu clinics, in terms of testing labs. And we must not forget that Mumbai is an international city. Mumbai has a lot of international exposure. Maharashtra is a state where we have almost 4 international airports, Mumbai, Nagpur, Pune, Aurangabad. So we must not deny the fact that we did have international exposure, and the virus has traveled from international lands. We have been at it on ground, and I think the numbers in Mumbai, if you compare any international city of London, New York, or any other city, if you compare, the numbers in Mumbai are still much less. We must accept that, and I think government of Maharashtra must be given its due credit.
I wouldn't be very keen on taking credit, because given the density of population in Mumbai, given how people stay in places like Dharavi, things can turn very quickly. Speaking of unexpected people getting COVID-19, Sanjay Jha put out a tweet saying that he'd been diagnosed with COVID. Sanjay now joins us. Sanjay, I was very concerned when I saw that. I thought we must dial you in, find out how you're doing. I hope you're safe. Any idea about how you got COVID-19 and how are you doing right now?
Well, Rahul, I was very astonished, to be frank. But one has been taking all the necessary precautions, following all the hygiene protocols from social distancing, wearing masks, sanitizing, and ensuring that at no point of time one is being careless or taking wild risks at all. So I was very taken aback, but I would once again say that the doctor fraternity is extraordinary. So around 4 or 5 days ago, when I told my GP that I seem to have a slightly unusual low-grade fever of 99 that I couldn't quite figure out as to why it was there, he said that's the first symptom of COVID, where anybody who gets infected doesn't know why it is happening to him or her. And because it is like a regular cold, or which can be a sore throat or a stuffed nose, etc. I had none of those, but then I did have a distinct loss of smell, and I think he added the two together, and he told me, don't waste any time. It's just a question of giving a test, and you rule out all possibilities. And I was obviously, like any other person, not very happy to do a test, because you stress out over giving a test, and even if you think it's going to be negative, those 48 hours can be quite traumatic. But he said, no, you need to do that, better safe than sorry. And I'm glad I did it. I gave the test ultimately on Wednesday. Got the report this morning from the lab, and it took me a little bit of time to kind of reconcile to the fact that I was COVID affected, because you as a human being, you never think it's going to happen to you. You're also fatalistic by a very natural human design. And therefore it's now reconciling to that reality. But the good news is that I don't need to go to a hospital. He said just be in a home quarantine. You got to keep your family in equally segregated isolation, and give yourself 10 days. Be hydrated and take the medications that is prescribed. And he says very, very confident that you guys will be bouncing back in the next 10 days.
I hope you do, and I wish you well. Sanjay Jha, for joining us on the News Track. Thank you. I'm going to slip into a quick break. We'll keep following the Mumbai story because this is one of the biggest flashpoints when it comes to COVID-19 in India, very, very closely. When I come back, we'll shift our attention to all manner of vaccines and...
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.